So hello and welcome to another video tutorial here on our Patreon channel, so on our YouTube channel. I'm so excited guys to share with you the new chapter of post-processing 3D prints, and that being electroplating. So in this video I'm going to explain to you what is electroplating, how it works, what are its advantages and disadvantages, and what are the possibilities of using this technique of post-processing 3D prints. Let's dive into it. I'm going to show you something here on the table, but also I want to add to the video like some clips of the electroplating process and stuff so that you can see how it works. So let's dive into it. So electroplating is essentially adding a thin layer or depositing a thin layer of metal on a part. The part can already be metal, but it can also be done with a plastic part like this. You could see this like chess figures. For example, this one, it was used in the vapor smoothing video, and now it's like metallic. So it has been metal coated, more specifically with a zinc, or firstly with a copper layer and then the zinc layer. Basically, you are using a sheet of metal of some kind. It can be like, the most basic one is copper. Others can be like zinc, nickel, even gold, silver, for example. And essentially, you are using a electrolyte, which is a liquid which contains like, or it has a uh, chemical, basically compound or something that is reacting with the metal sheet, and so that the particles from the anode, being the sheet of metal, are basically moving from the sheet to the actual part by using a current and by using certain amount of voltage and amperage, depending on the size of the model and on the surface area of the model and of the thickness of the layer you want to deposit on the model. I hope I have explained it a bit briefly. What is it good for? Basically, to achieve a crazy finish on a part like this, metallic look and nice shiny surface. This is no longer a 3D print, this is becoming a serious part, because technically it's a plastic part with a zinc layer. You can use it to make some, let's say, jewelry, nice looking parts that you want to give them a premium finish, better resistance, because let's say zinc is mostly used, let's say, somewhere outside, like metal fences, metal gates and stuff, etc., etc. Or metal sheets are usually being like zinced, their surface is being zinced so that it doesn't corrode, or it's like just it can withstand more of the outer environment and stuff. For the copper one, just for the look, and also since copper is like oxidating on a oxygen basically outside, you can use varnish spray to seal it from the outside environment so that it doesn't corrode like this. These parts are like 3 weeks old and nothing is just happening with them because I have sprayed it with the varnish spray. We will get into it deeper in the full process video, but that's just the usage and what you can use it for, because this technique, one of the disadvantages is that it's a bit expensive, and a bit, I mean like incomparably to the vapor smoothing method or the mechanical polishing method. So let's compare it to the mechanical polishing. The mechanical polishing was just the parts were polished and they were smooth on the surface, but the surface was exposed and it was not coated, or basically it didn't have the thin layer of the metal on itself. And to the vapor smoothing, also the vapor smoothing only smoothens out the surface and makes it look shiny, but the electroplating gives the part an actual layer of metal. That's basically how it works and how it compares to the other methods. Let's go to the advantages of this method. So the advantage is that the quality of the surface. I mean, just look how the shiny the surface is, how smooth it is. It just looks amazing. I mean, the quality of the surface, this is important, depends on the previous post-processing method. If the part wouldn't be post-processed with the vapor smoothing or the mechanical polishing, you can still electroplate the print, but the electroplating follows the behavior of the surface. So if the surface is rough, if the surface is like there are visible layer lines, you will see it on the final product that you have electroplated. Basically, you want to use one of these two methods, the mechanical polishing or the vapor smoothing, to smooth around the surface to make it shiny, and then the electroplating is just going to copy the surface and is going to deposit a nice layer of the metal. Then you can polish it again with the polishing paste so that it shines like crazy. There is also a possibility of using different coating materials or metallic materials, like for example, as I've said, the copper, the zinc, nickel, gold, silver. Those materials give you the nice looking finish because all of them technically shine. Copper shines, zinc shines, silver shines, gold is shiniest. One of the advantages is that if you already are able to smoothen out the prints with the mechanical polishing or with the vapor smoothing method, the print is already being prepared for the electroplating. A step forward from vapor smoothing and mechanical polishing is electroplating. You don't need to do any like complicated stuff around it. The print is just ready for being electroplated. There are some things you need to follow and make, but those are just little, really small steps, and the prints are just ready for being electroplated. So that would be the disadvantages, and now let's talk about the disadvantages. First off, it's expensive. I mean, 5 liters of electrolyte, of copper electrolyte, of the liquid that you use to transfer the molecules on the model costs like 100 euros just for the 5 liters of electrolyte. And I'm not even talking about the other stuff that you need, the power supply units, the anodes, anode bags, some kind of rotary jigs, magnetic stirrers, plastic boxes, etc, etc. We will dive deeper into this in the shopping list video. That's maybe the tricky part, the cost of it, but the results are worth it. It's up to you if you invest those money into the plating and then enjoy these nice looking surfaces. But there are some like not necessarily like cheaper options, but you can go really like, I would say, lower budget, not low budget, but lower budget from like some kind of really crazy stuff. So another disadvantage is that you need to follow all the steps from the beginning, like from the printing. So printing with the right preset, right material, processing the print, polishing it or polishing it mechanically or vapor smooth it. Then you have to coat it with a filler spray and with a conductive paint because the print, the plastic itself isn't conductive, so you need to make it conductive with using either a copper conductive spray or graphite spray or some graphite paint or copper paint and stuff that it has copper in it so that it makes it conductive. The disadvantage is that you need to prepare the model and there is a lot of steps like before it, but if you are already in the process of being able to vapor smooth, you are just fine because you don't need to start from the beginning because you have already came to the point where you are able to vapor smooth, so you have the surface prepared for the plating. Another disadvantage would be there's a chance that the plating won't work. That's only when you don't follow the steps before. If you try to skip some steps or you just try to speed things up, there's a chance you are going to mess things up and you can start from the beginning. So this is like disadvantage, but also encouragement to be precise, be patient, and do not skip steps. Because I have already tried to skip some steps or maybe be faster or efficient or something, but it only led to the point where I need to back up and to work again from the beginning or from some point, you know. So be patient and it's worth to wait. That would be it for this video. I hope I explained it, how it works, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and maybe now you understand it a bit more. There's a plenty of videos out there on the YouTube channels and everywhere about electroplating, and I mean, it's fun. And just think about it, how many people are able to do this or have the opportunity, because these things are just like they were made to be used industrially, so in big companies, and that electroplate like pipes, large metal sheets, and tons of metals, and tons of parts. And the thing that you can do this at home, the results are crazy. You are essentially doing the stuff that are doing the big companies and industries at home, just in smaller scale, but you are essentially doing the same thing. So I think it's worth it to try it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, feel free to comment. In the next video, we are going to be talking about the shopping list for electroplating. What are we going to need, and walk you step by step why do you need those things. Have a nice day. Bye.